öncelikle farz namazların üzerine nafile namazlar kılarak ve fazlaca zikir çekerek takva üzerine yükselebilir miyiz? Bir sorun daha, mümin kardeşlerimizle birlikte takva üzerine nasıl davranışlarla yarışabilir de takva üzerine yükselebiliriz?
He has two questions. First one, he's asking, is it possible to raise on your level of taqwa if you expand your zikrs, if you make more zikrs every day? And second question, what is the behavior between the murid brothers, the dervish brothers, the murid brothers to, again, to bring better taqwa in our lives, to have better taqwa?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Taqwa is what people they are saying, to be aware and to be conscious of Allah. Islam, Iman and Ihsan. Islam, it is the do's and the don'ts. The Iman is a belief now, belief in an unseen. And Ihsan, the beauty of it, what makes everything beautiful. It is to worship Allah as if you see Him. And if you don't see Him, to know that He sees you. Now to have taqwa, to know that Allah is always looking at you. Can you increase that when you do more zikr? Yes, of course you can. When you make the zikr that is allowed and authorized for you to make, when you make a zikr that is not in ghaflat, when you make a zikr that you are going to connect not only the zikr and the remembrance of Allah, but you're going to connect that zikr with the action that you are doing. Everything that we are doing in Islam, it is zikr. Our shahadat, it is to remember Allah. Our prayer 5 times a day, it is to remember Allah. Our fasting, it is to remember Allah. Zakat is just to remember Allah. Hajj, it is to remember Allah. So the remembrance of Allah, it is the essence of every action that we're doing. And the belief, Iman, what is that? Amantu billahi wal malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rasuli yawmi akhir. All that is again to remember Allah. Now, if we remember Allah and we are behaving, not only remembering Allah, but we are behaving that Allah is there present with us, huzur, hazir, ready and present with us, we are ready and present with Allah, then that time you are preparing yourself to be a dervish. Is that easy to do? It is not. And the murid doesn't jump to that. Because first, before you want to remember Allah all the time, we say you must remember Allah now in these specific times. Can you carry it? Can we carry remembering Allah not just in our prayer, which so many in our prayer, in our salah, forget about the zikr. Our hearts going around here and there. We're not remembering. Are we remembering Allah in the moment of our anger? So many they are not. Allah is the last. What about the times when our nafs is just knocking on us? Are we remembering Allah? So although it is the essence of everything that we're doing, zikrullah, to remember Allah, but that essence itself, it is very difficult to maintain especially outside of a zikr circle, outside of halaqah. You understand? But that is when it becomes really powerful. That you're not only remembering Allah when you're sitting with pulling a tasbih saying Allah, 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 but you're remembering Allah when you are in the barn. You're remembering Allah when you're cleaning the toilet. Yes. You're remembering Allah when someone's smacking you. You're remembering Allah when it is cold. You're remembering Allah when there's heat. So zikrullah, yes, we're making silent zikr. We're making loud zikr. But zikrullah, it is beyond these situations where you're just sitting down specifically to remember Allah. It is easy to do that. But zikrullah, you have to come out from this halaqah, from this circle, from this association, and still to remember Allah. Remember Allah. What do you remember? What do you mean when you say you remember Allah too? To remember something, you had knowledge of that something first, and then you remember, correct? If I say, do you remember that time we went and we had some kofta? You had the kofta, and now you are remembering, correct? Get the kids to quiet down a little bit. Saleh. Okay, when they go out of control, just tell them a little bit. Sohbat going on, they should go through this door, bruh. Ahmak. I don't know which door you're going to. We had the knowledge of Allah. Correct? But we've forgotten. That's why we must remember. Because that knowledge of Allah, being with Allah, acknowledging Allah, that happened. And the day of promises in Qalubala, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us, if you're sleepy, don't listen to sohbat. You can go and rest. This is not for people who are sleepy. You don't come proper time, then shaitan jump on you. And it's very difficult for you now to take something from the sohbat and from the zikr. It's not for nothing that we're saying, keep the adab of the Thursdays. So many times we want to speak subjects like this, but when people, they're not ready, we cannot. Like I said before, more knowledge you have, more responsible you're going to be, correct? Now, how am I going to speak about such knowledge if people are just going to sleepy like this? Say, why am I torturing you? Now go to sleep. Because we're touching on very delicate points. There will not be permission if you're not ready to listen. No permission. Never mind. Just make your prayer 5 times a day. Remember Allah. Once a week, try to remember Allah. You have taqwa that time. If you don't have the presence of your Shaykh, you cannot have taqwa. Yeah, that's why the presence of the Shaykh has to be very strong. We're here in the Dergah, we remember. Because he is that rope. We touch his rope, we hold on to his rope, he's holding on to the rope of Rasulullah alayhi salatu. And the Prophet's rope to Allah is stronger than anyone else. Stronger than our rope. So if you're not holding on, if you're not being with your Shaykh, how are you going to have taqwa? How are you going to learn what taqwa is? If you're not hearing the voice of your Shaykh when you're doing something, anything, right or wrong, clearly, how are you going to hear the voice of the Prophet? How are you going to hear and know and remember Allah now? It's just a concept. And some people saying, no, you cannot imagine Allah, but you can at least imagine Alif Lam Lam Ha, Allah. Some they say, I give you Allah card. Just stare at that until you start to see something. Now opening comes to you. Hasbunallah. So you want to have taqwa? Be in sohbat. Be in association. From that association, you will be in association with Allah. That time, you will know. Don't think it is so easy, and don't wish for that too. First, be in association with your Shaykh. There's a Sahabi who wanted to remember Allah. He wanted something to be open to him. Prophet ﷺ trying to stop it, block it. The Sahabi was insisting. He was very sincere. He wants to remember Allah all the time. He wants to hear the zikr of Allah in everything. See the zikr of Allah in everything. Can we handle it? We cannot handle it if we start to witness this cup giving zikr of Allah. We're going to lose our mind. But everything in existence in its own way is remembering Allah. That Sahabi, he was relieving himself. He took some things to clean himself, and the pebbles that he took, when he looked at it, he heard it buzzing, and he listened, and the pebbles, they were making zikr of Allah. He dropped it. He took others to clean himself. That one is remembering Allah. He took everything is remembering Allah. Now he's stuck there. Doesn't know what to do. Now he cannot clean himself. And he asked for his heart to be closed. Just to continue. Before we ask for our heart to be open, let's ask for the door of shaitan to be closed first. Let's ask that ego inside, we take that key away from him to open the door. If you don't stop the ego, you still give him the key. When he opens the door to shaitan, that time, your taqwa, the knowledge that you have, the openings that you see, it will turn and it will become rotten. It will lead you to Jahannam. People who are asking and asking and asking, you see them, they are in the toilet, they're eating dirtiness, drinking dirtiness, but they are saying, no, I'm with Allah. I'm eating with my Lord, I'm drinking with my Lord, because up here it's burnt out. So now, yes, your relationship with your Shaykh now, it has to be very strong. You have to remember. Is he remembering you? All the time, he's remembering you. What about your relationship with each other now? Your second question. What is it? He's sleeping. Yes.
What would be the better manners and relationships in Dergah with other murids to have more taqwa?
What kind of a question is that? What will be better manners and relationship in Dergah with other murids? It's not English, man. I have something in English. Never mind, let me try to make sense out of it. With each other now, be with people who are going to remind you of your Shaykh. You understand? Not just physically, not just because this one belongs to the blood or relation, no. That one, whatever he does, he's trying to put his Shaykh in the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Whether it is in his words, in his actions, whatever that he is doing. Be with them more. You will increase your consciousness, your nearness to your Shaykh, nearness to the Prophet, nearness to Allah. You will. Don't just hang around with people just because they give you a good time. You understand? This is what we mean so many times. We say the Dergah is not a social club just to hang out with each other. If there is a cafe, everyone hangs out at the cafe. We have cafe too. I forbid people to hang out there because it's a place of work. What are you going to hang out there for? What are you going to get from there? This is Dergah. Correct? Now, what are you going to do with each other now? That one is Ahli Hizmet. He's serving his Shaykh. That one, he's always remembering his Shaykh. Not only that, he does it. Not only that, you see that he is trying to sit and step on his ego and trying to help people. We are all broken. We are all dirty ones. One day up, one day low. Doesn't matter. But you see that sincerity, that one is remembering, making you to remember. Run to that one. There are some maybe it's causing you to forget, doing other things, just malayani, 24 hours. Don't hang out with that one too much. You understand? Now, how easy is it to be just being with your Shaykh 24 hours? It is not easy at all. It is not easy. You cannot carry just remembering. You cannot carry just remembering Allah 24 hours. You cannot. It's not just a matter of carrying, but there are responsibilities. When you do remember that way, something inside of you will change. With that change, you have to do other things. And you cannot do some things. But we're seeing you're still stuck doing some things. You're not doing other things, but you're claiming something. How we can be. Be with your Shaykh. Alone or with other people. You understand? And that time, His presence will be with you. You're not going to be alone. You're not going to be empty. Fatiha.